This investigation exposes the 7 meat products Europe examined and called too dangerous for its citizens, yet they still fill UK supermarket shelves today. You will discover how processed bacon in British stores contains sodium nitrite levels that the EU strictly caps because of serious health concerns. We will also reveal how mechanically separated chicken, a paste-like meat product the EU tightly restricts, still appears in UK chicken nuggets that target seniors with sensitive teeth. Number 7. Value meat pies and slices remain staples in British supermarkets, promising pensioners affordable comfort food with familiar flavours. These budget-friendly pastries lure older shoppers with nostalgic appeal and pocket-friendly pricing. They appear to be the perfect solution for people managing tight retirement budgets while craving traditional tastes. Behind this comforting facade, however, lies a cardiovascular catastrophe that European regulators have banned. Laboratory analysis of these products reveals they contain dangerous levels of partially hydrogenated vegetable oils, the industrial source of trans fats that EU food standards explicitly prohibit because of their devastating impact on heart health. While the EU took decisive action to protect its citizens, particularly vulnerable older adults, UK regulators continue allowing these artery-clogging ingredients to feature prominently in budget pastries. The science behind this ban could not be clearer. Trans fats are particularly dangerous because they raise bad LDL cholesterol while lowering beneficial HDL cholesterol, a double assault on cardiovascular health that is especially perilous for seniors already managing heart conditions. For older adults taking statins or other heart medications, these fats actively undermine treatment protocols, creating a perfect storm of cardiovascular risk disguised as affordable nutrition. What is particularly sinister is how these products specifically target pensioners through strategic pricing and nostalgic marketing. The demographic most vulnerable to cardiovascular complications, older adults on fixed incomes, becomes the primary consumer of these trans fat-laden products. While a younger person might occasionally indulge with minimal immediate consequence, older adults who consume these products regularly face compounding cardiovascular damage that can trigger life-threatening events. European food safety authorities examined the evidence and implemented comprehensive bans on trans fats, recognizing their outsized harm to aging populations. The UK post-Brexit regulatory approach, however, continues prioritizing industry convenience over protecting vulnerable citizens, allowing manufacturers to use these dangerous fats to extend shelf life and cut production costs. The result is a regulatory failure that puts profit margins above pensioner health. For older Britons managing heart conditions, these seemingly innocent meat pies represent a hidden betrayal. The momentary budget savings these products offer pale in comparison to the potential health costs, from worsening heart disease to increased medication requirements or even catastrophic cardiac events. When a budget pie is effectively bombing your arteries with banned fats, the savings become heart surgery bills. Number 6. Chilled pate. Chilled pate occupies prime real estate in British supermarket fridges, marketed as a sophisticated protein option perfectly suited for older consumers. Its smooth, spreadable texture appeals to seniors managing dental issues or dentures, promising elegant nutrition without chewing difficulties. The convenient packaging and extended shelf life make these products appear ideal for older adults living alone or managing mobility challenges. What these attractive packages hide, however, is a microbiological risk that European food safety authorities have flagged as dangerous to vulnerable populations. Laboratory testing consistently shows that pates are particularly hospitable environments for Listeria monocytogenes, a bacterium that poses minimal threat to healthy adults, but can be life-threatening for older consumers with declining immune function. European regulators have implemented stringent monitoring, testing requirements and warning systems specifically targeting Listeria risks in pates. These measures acknowledge the scientific reality that this food category combines perfect conditions for bacterial growth, the absence of preservatives, extended refrigerated shelf life, and consumption without further cooking. For older adults with age-related immune decline, these factors create a dangerous combination that EU safeguards directly address. UK supermarkets continue selling long-life pate varieties that approach bacterial danger zones even before purchase. Unlike European counterparts with stricter best before periods and warning labels, British products rely on general food safety advice that fails to highlight specific risks to vulnerable groups. The post-Brexit regulatory approach has relaxed microbiological vigilance in favour of industry flexibility, and that trade-off specifically endangers older consumers. The listeria risk is particularly insidious because its symptoms, fever, muscle aches and confusion, often mimic other conditions common in older adults. This frequently leads to delayed diagnosis and treatment, dramatically increasing mortality rates. For seniors taking immunosuppressive medications for conditions like rheumatoid arthritis or recovering from illnesses, the consequences can be catastrophic, with fatality rates approaching 30% despite hospital treatment. European health authorities have documented numerous listeria outbreaks directly linked to pate consumption among older adults, leading to strict regulation. The UK decision to maintain more lenient standards represents a calculated risk with pensioner health, prioritising commercial interests over protecting vulnerable consumers from well-documented dangers. When a supposedly sophisticated pate could trigger a life-threatening bacterial infection in a compromised immune system, the sophistication becomes a death sentence. Number 5. Smoke-flavoured ham. Smoke-flavoured ham dominates UK delicatessen counters with promises of traditional curing methods and authentic taste experiences. These products particularly appeal to older consumers who remember genuine smoking techniques from their youth, offering convenient pre-sliced options, perfect for sandwiches and simple meals. For pensioners managing limited energy and kitchen capabilities, these ready-to-eat meats seem to offer traditional quality without culinary effort. The reality revealed through chemical analysis paints a disturbing picture that regulators in the EU have actively addressed. Rather than using traditional smoking methods, most UK supermarket hams rely on industrial liquid smoke flavourings, concentrated chemical compounds derived from wood smoke but processed into forms that bear little resemblance to authentic techniques. These compounds have been flagged by EU scientists for their potential digestive irritation, particularly in sensitive older adults. EU regulations now require strict limits on smoke flavourings, with comprehensive safety assessments and clear labelling to distinguish between traditionally smoked products and chemical alternatives. UK regulations continue allowing unlimited use of these industrial additives without transparent consumer information, leaving older shoppers unable to identify potentially irritating ingredients despite their increased sensitivity. For seniors already managing digestive conditions common in aging, from diverticulitis to irritable bowel syndrome, these chemical smoke compounds can trigger painful flare-ups and digestive distress. Laboratory testing reveals these additives can irritate intestinal linings, potentially worsening conditions that already affect quality of life for many older adults. What appears to be traditional preservation actually delivers industrial chemicals directly to sensitive digestive systems. Beyond digestive irritation, many smoke-flavoured hams conceal additional health concerns through deceptive labelling. Products marketed as traditional often contain substantial added sugars hidden behind terms like dextrose or glucose syrup, ingredients that can significantly impact blood sugar control for diabetic seniors. While EU regulations require clear front package labelling for such additions, UK standards allow these ingredients to hide within complex ingredient lists that many older consumers struggle to decipher. The contrast between EU regulatory approaches and post-Brexit UK standards reveals a disturbing pattern. EU authorities have consistently prioritised protecting vulnerable consumers through transparent labelling and additive restrictions, while UK regulations increasingly favour industry flexibility over consumer information rights. When your traditional ham uses industrial chemicals to fake authentic smoking, and those chemicals specifically irritate senior digestive systems, the tradition becomes chemical warfare disguised as heritage flavour. Number 4. High-fat mince. High-fat mince occupies freezers across UK supermarkets, promising affordability and flavour for budget-conscious meals. These ground meat products appear to offer protein value for pensioners preparing traditional cottage pies, bolognese, and other familiar dishes. The lower price point specifically attracts seniors managing limited retirement incomes while trying to maintain nutritional adequacy. Laboratory analysis reveals these products contain fat percentages that EU regulators have explicitly restricted because of their impact on cardiovascular health. While many EU nations enforce maximum fat content regulations between 15 and 20% for minced products, UK supermarkets regularly sell varieties containing 25 to 30% fat, levels specifically problematic for seniors managing cholesterol conditions and heart health medications. The scientific evidence supporting fat restrictions is particularly relevant to older adults. High-fat mince not only delivers excessive saturated fat that directly raises LDL cholesterol levels, it also triggers inflammatory responses that worsen arterial plaque formation, a particular concern for older adults already managing cardiovascular conditions. For pensioners taking statins or other cholesterol medications, these products actively undermine their treatment efficacy. What makes this regulatory gap particularly harmful is the economic pressure facing many retired Britons. When inflation squeezes fixed pensions, the lower price of high-fat mince becomes increasingly attractive despite its health consequences. EU regulations protect vulnerable consumers regardless of economic status, while UK standards increasingly allow price point marketing that exploits financial constraints facing older shoppers. Beyond cholesterol concerns, high-fat mince creates additional challenges for aging digestive systems. The excessive fat content triggers acid reflux and indigestion, conditions already more prevalent in older adults due to weakening esophageal sphincters and reduced stomach acid. What appears to be budget-friendly protein actually delivers digestive distress alongside cardiovascular risks. EU regulatory approaches explicitly acknowledge these age-related vulnerabilities through fat content restrictions that protect all consumers regardless of economic status. The UK post-Brexit regulatory framework continues prioritising perceived consumer choice and industry flexibility over protection standards, a trade-off that specifically disadvantages older adults on fixed incomes who face the greatest health risks. When your affordable mince actively undermines the medications keeping your cardiovascular system stable, the value becomes a cardiac catastrophe. Mechanically separated chicken appears throughout UK processed meat products, from budget chicken nuggets to sandwich spreads marketed for convenience and ease. These products specifically target older consumers through soft texture claims, perfect for denture wearers and those with chewing difficulties. For pensioners managing dental challenges, these items appear to offer accessible protein solutions. The reality behind this industrial ingredient would shock most consumers. Mechanically separated chicken is created by forcing chicken carcasses through high-pressure sieves to extract remaining meat after traditional butchering, producing a paste-like substance with dramatically altered structural properties. European regulators have placed strict limits on this ingredient because of its increased bacterial vulnerability and questionable nutritional profile, restrictions that UK policy has largely abandoned. Microbiological testing explains why those restrictions matter. The processing methods used to make mechanically separated chicken greatly increase surface area for bacterial growth, and they disrupt natural antimicrobial barriers in intact meat. For older adults with naturally declining immune function, this creates elevated food safety risks that EU regulations address through usage limitations and rigorous testing requirements that UK standards no longer match. This is a serious bacterial risk for vulnerable people. The targeting of seniors through soft texture claims represents a particularly cynical marketing approach. While these products can address genuine needs for accessible nutrition, some manufacturers exploit dental vulnerabilities to sell industrial byproducts to those least able to fight resulting infections. EU rules require clear labeling of mechanically separated chicken to help protect vulnerable consumers, while UK descriptions can be more ambiguous and may obscure actual ingredients. Beyond bacterial concerns, nutritional analysis reveals other problems relevant to older customers. Mechanically separated chicken products often contain higher levels of calcium because bone fragments are introduced during processing, a particular concern for seniors taking medications that interact with calcium, including common antibiotics and thyroid treatments. What looks like convenient protein can actually interfere with medication and increase health risks. The divergence between EU and post-Brexit UK regulations again reveals concerning priorities. EU standards acknowledge the vulnerabilities of aging populations with strict limits and transparent labeling for mechanically separated chicken, while UK frameworks increasingly favour industry flexibility and cost reduction over protecting those consumers. When a convenient chicken nugget is in fact a bacterial-laden industrial paste marketed to people least able to fight contamination, convenience becomes an immune system assault. Budget sausages feature prominently in British supermarkets, promising affordable protein with traditional appeal. These products specifically target pensioners through nostalgic packaging and budget-friendly pricing, offering familiar comfort foods that connect to cultural traditions. For older adults managing fixed retirement incomes, these sausages appear to offer value while maintaining cherished eating habits. Ingredient analysis reveals a troubling reality that EU regulators have directly addressed. While traditional sausages contain primarily meat with minimal additions, UK budget varieties frequently contain up to 30% non-meat fillers, including bread rusk, wheat flour, and modified starches. These hidden carbohydrates create specific dangers for the 25% of British seniors managing diabetes or pre-diabetic conditions. The diabetic risk is particularly insidious because these products appear in the meat section and feature protein-focused marketing. Older consumers reasonably expect minimal carbohydrate impact from meat products, and they often incorporate them into diabetic management plans without realizing they are consuming substantial hidden carbs. EU regulations require front-of-package nutritional warnings specifically for this scenario, while UK standards allow these ingredients to hide within complex labels. Beyond blood sugar concerns, these fillers create additional digestive challenges for aging gastrointestinal systems. The combination of processed starches, meat proteins, and high fat content creates a particularly difficult digestive load for older adults already experiencing natural enzyme reduction. What appears to be traditional protein actually delivers digestive distress alongside blood sugar disruption. The economic targeting of vulnerable seniors raises concerning ethical questions. Budget sausages specifically attract fixed-income pensioners who face increasing financial pressure as inflation outpaces retirement benefits. EU regulations protect all consumers regardless of economic status through content restrictions and transparent labelling, while UK standards increasingly allow two-tier quality systems that disadvantage those with limited resources. The contrast between EU regulatory approaches and post-Brexit UK standards highlights diverging priorities. EU frameworks explicitly acknowledge the vulnerabilities of aging populations through ingredient restrictions and transparent information requirements, while UK regulations increasingly prioritize manufacturing flexibility and cost reduction over protecting vulnerable consumers. When a traditional sausage sabotages diabetes management with undisclosed carbohydrates, the family meal can become a medical emergency. Number 1. Processed bacon occupies premium shelf space in every British supermarket, promising traditional breakfast experiences and familiar comfort. These products particularly appeal to older consumers through nostalgic packaging and lifetime associations with morning routines. For pensioners seeking continuity and cultural connection, bacon appears to offer simple pleasures alongside protein nutrition. Chemical analysis reveals these products contain preservative levels that EU regulators have explicitly restricted due to cardiovascular risks. Sodium nitrite, the chemical preservative giving bacon its characteristic pink color and extended shelf life, appears in UK products at concentrations significantly higher than permitted under EU regulations. For the 65% of British seniors managing hypertension or heart conditions, these additives pose specific and documented risks. The science behind nitrite restrictions is particularly relevant to older adults. These chemicals trigger inflammatory responses that elevate blood pressure and stress cardiovascular systems already managing age-related challenges. For pensioners taking medications like ACE inhibitors, beta blockers, or calcium channel blockers, processed bacon with unrestricted nitrite levels actively undermines their treatment protocols and may require medication adjustments to compensate for diet-induced spikes. Beyond direct blood pressure impacts, processed bacon delivers extreme sodium levels that EU regulators have specifically addressed. While EU frameworks limit salt content in processed meats to protect vulnerable populations, UK products regularly contain up to 3.5 grams of salt per 100 grams, levels that can trigger dangerous fluid retention in seniors managing congestive heart failure or kidney conditions. The marketing specifically targeting older consumers raises ethical concerns about vulnerability exploitation. Nostalgic imagery featuring traditional British breakfasts appeals directly to older shoppers seeking connection to lifelong habits, while concealing the significant formula changes that have occurred over decades of industrial manufacturing. EU regulations require clear preservative warnings, while UK standards allow these additives to hide behind technical terminology unfamiliar to most consumers. The divergence between EU and post-Brexit UK regulations reveals concerning priorities. EU frameworks acknowledge the specific vulnerabilities of aging populations through strict preservative limitations and salt restrictions, while UK standards increasingly favour extended shelf life and manufacturing convenience over protecting vulnerable consumers. When your traditional breakfast bacon actively undermines life-saving heart medications, the Great British Breakfast becomes a cardiac catastrophe disguised as morning comfort. From trans-fat artery bombers to listeria senior killers, from chemical digestive assaults to blood pressure medication saboteurs, these 7 products prove that Brexit's promise to take back control of our food standards became a systematic abandonment of consumer protection, specifically endangering British seniors. While Europe banned these products to protect their aging populations, the UK chose industry convenience over pensioner safety. What we have now is regulatory betrayal disguised as sovereignty, and it systematically targets the most vulnerable consumers in Britain. And here is the bigger question. If this is happening with something as fundamental as meat products, what else in our supermarkets might be putting our health at risk without our knowledge? Have these banned EU meat products been sitting in your fridge all along? Hit subscribe now and share this video to warn your loved ones about what is really hiding in their weekly shop. You could literally be saving someone's life